Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Help build the region's economy. Work to financial security. Prosperity for all of we. FIM is for you and me. FIM is for everybody. So tell your friends and your whole family. Financial empowerment through education. Build yourself and the entire region. Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Financial Information Month. Financial empowerment through education.
Financial empowerment through education. I love this jingle. You know, it really promotes what Financial Information Month is about, and really direct and give you all the information. And we'll start off the discussion in a short while. Let me just ensure that my guests are hearing me properly. But let me say good morning. We have a discussion coming up, and we're going to look at this very subject. You heard the jingle, Financial Information Month, and that is a month that is being observed every year around this time. I think it's over 20 years now that this observance is in the spotlight in October. About 23 or 25 years thereabout, but we'll get the specifics. So let me welcome you to a discussion here this morning. We have three guests in studio with us. Of course, in a short while, I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves, but we want to look at Financial Information Month in Dominica. And of course, it is a regional campaign, really. So it's not just Dominica, it's a regional efforts. And Dominica, of course, played a major role in all of this Financial Information Month. And it promotes financial literacy as well, and empowerment. So we want to look at this, the importance of this month. There's a specific theme as well. We want to explore what the theme says, what is in it for us as well. What should we learn from the theme for this year? And we'll move on. So just listen to the jingle again as we ensure that everything is in order, and we start off the discussion.
It's Financial Information Month in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Financial empowerment through education. If you don't know what that is, let me tell you all about it. Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Help build the region's economy. Work to financial security. Prosperity for all of we. FIM is for you and me. FIM is for everybody. So tell your friends and your whole family. Financial empowerment through education. Build yourself and the entire region. Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Financial Information Month. Financial empowerment through education. It's Financial Information Month in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Financial empowerment through education. If you don't know what that is, let me tell you all about it. Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Help build the region's economy. Work to financial security. Prosperity for all of we. FIM is for you and me. FIM is for everybody. So tell your friends and your whole family. Financial empowerment through education. Build yourself and the entire region. Learn to spend wisely. FIM. Invest to grow your money. FIM. Business stability. FIM. Step up financially. FIM. Financial Information Month.
Okay, so
Financial
welcome again. Let
empowerment
us start the
through
discussion. Let us start the
education.
introductions as well. As I said, we have three members here with us, and they'll tell us who they are, who they represent as well. And from their introduction, you'll understand what our role is this morning and what we're going to be discussing. So let me go to Studio 2 to say welcome to my guests. I have two ladies, one gentleman. Ladies first. Good morning.
Good
Tell us who you are, obviously.
My name is Monique Jeffrey. I am the marketing assistant at NCCU.
Hi, Monique. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alian Abel, Marketing Officer at the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Happy to be here with the viewers and the listeners online.
Okay, Marketing Officer, DABD, Alian Abel. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Brenton Hillier, Agency Manager at Surgical Life Dominica.
All right, and welcome. Happy Financial Information Month, if I can say that.
Indeed, the same to you. Thank you.
Yes,
CBS is a
that is
partner.
it. Yes, and we are happy, of course, to partner on this initiative every year, in particular, to not just promote the event, and what is happening, and have this jingle running, but to have discussions like that, because we want to focus on a very specific topic today. So I'm happy that we can do this, and of course, partners in this sector will help us educate the populace. And I look forward to this discussion. The theme this year is savers to investors. That's it.
Yes.
Savers to investors,
that's correct.
and every year there's a theme under which the Financial Information Month is being observed, and savers to investors, very direct, but we want to break it down. Of course, what does that mean to the ordinary man on the street? Savers to investors. Who is a saver? How do I go from a saver to investor? What is the process involved? So these are the blanks that we want to have filled as we go through the discussion. I did a quick research, so it's 2002, I think. Financial
Right.
Information Month
So it's
started.
about 23 years.
23 years if you do the
Yes.
math, and that's good. I'm not sure if it started with a whole month. I can't recall if it started with a whole month. But it's good to designate a month, for that,
Yes.
from the regional, perspective, and that's good because it's really a program that incorporates a series of initiatives, designed to support the attainment of the goal of a financially developed and vibrant ECCU.
That's
All right. Okay, so let us start the discussion. Financial Information Month, as we said, and that is a collaborative effort this year with partners like you. Tell us how significant this is. A month set aside, from your own perspective, a month set aside to ensure that we learn what we should learn, especially in this changing environment. Let's start with you, Ali and Abel.
All right, no problem. So, every month we're excited, although October is our independent season, but FIM is very, very important. And while we see our peers as competitors, we get to partner with them. So we love this month. This topic, this theme from savers to investors, it's very important. And what it draws me to is not just investing your funds in like tech and these things, but having your savings and investing in property, investing in land, investing in businesses, and that is where the National Bank of Dominica Limited comes into play. We can help you grow from what you've saved to overachieving and letting your business expand. That is what we're here for, and we want to talk more about that.
Interesting. Brenton Hillier, let me just bring you in because you mentioned investing in property, investing in land, investing in businesses. Is this only for like the more mature folks, adults? Can young people too, begin to position themselves, in line of this?
Definitely. And before I go into that, from a general perspective, Financial Information Month, I believe, is extremely relevant in today's time because we've seen over time what can happen when one does not understand their own finances. Sometimes they make mistakes that they take years to recover from. So it's a conversation that we need to be having more frequently. I'm happy that we have a month for it, but maybe we need to look at having some kind of tidbits going out there on a more regular basis, especially incorporating it into our curriculum. There are different countries right now that are actually putting financial literacy as a course that must be passed for you to graduate, because they're starting to realize that a lot of people are going into the workplace not understanding the importance of savings, budgeting, managing your expenses, and so forth. So definitely it's a very important topic, very timely. in terms of how soon one has to start thinking about it, is from school. They may not be able to necessarily put the certain measures in place while in school, but they need to be at least aware, so that when they come into having gainful employment, then they can start executing. And there's no limit as to when you should start. It's actually recommended, for example, that in terms of thinking about retirement, you should start your retirement fund from your first job. I meet a lot of people who say, well, I am 40 years old, I don't have to think about retirement. No. But the fact is, the older you get, the more difficult it becomes to retire. The earlier you start, the more you benefit from the compound interest. And if you have to do the maths, someone starting, let's just call in some random numbers, someone starting at the age of 20, putting money aside, is going to get more at the end of it than someone starting later, putting more money than the one that started earlier. So you definitely benefit from taking action as early as possible. So there's no age limit, in my opinion. Once you're working, you need to start exploring your options. First thing is definitely having a savings, which is for emergencies. It's recommended between 3 to 6 months. But then past 6 months, in my opinion, you need to look at investing, making your money work for you. If you save too much, you are actually shooting yourself in the foot, in my opinion, because there's only so much that you can get from a standard savings. I believe it's about 2%. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So you need to start looking
from a standard savings.
Standard savings,
higher
yeah,
for
keeping.
fixed deposit.
Right. So you need to start looking at different options once you have established that buffer. But then I can speak some more to that.
Of course, we can speak to that. But something you said that really piqued my interest as well, in reference to schools, and because when I went to school, especially when I was at primary school, and that's way back when, you know, and even secondary school, you know, financial literacy wasn't a subject. Obviously, with the principles of business, you know, accounting, you did math, you done things like that, so you learn a little, you know. But I think the time has come for us to have a specific focus on this, especially school level. Definitely. I'm not sure if you'd agree with me, Monique.
Definitely, and really it's a mindset, because no matter how much money it is you have, you really have to think and have that mindset about how it is you're going to manage your money. And some people, they have it innately, and some of us are learned. So with FIM, I think it's great that we're actually having this campaign, because the overarching theme for FIM is financial empowerment through education. And so even if you already have that mindset is innate in you, being educated only helps you to expand your options and expand your own mindset already as it is. So it's great for those who have it more innately, those that need to learn more and really get into the habit, because a lot of financial management is a consistency and discipline.
Yes. So to add to that, I think that we need to practice it more at homes as well.
That is
you know, giving allowances, getting paid for jobs, chores, whatever it is, and practicing how to save, how to invest, and how to grow your money.
So you have your piggy bank and all of that. You can separate your coins, you know, from your dollars, from your paper money and all of that. So that's a good way to start, obviously. Yes. I know a lot of young people, children in particular, have their piggy banks, you know. Yes. But how much do we continue to educate them? You know, apart from just putting the money in the piggy bank, you know, what do we say to them?
They have to practice it. That is what is important.
I
And
like that.
as part of the month, we are going to visit one of the schools in the east. That's Daly's Primary, but it's going to be a collaboration with the other schools within the catchment area. So the FIM partners, we're going to go there, educate the kids, and, you know, have fun, teach them how saving and investing is fun. So the schools included would be Daly's, La Plaine, Boutica, Mont John, and Rivière-Syriac. Did I miss one? No. Okay. Yes. So it's 5 primary schools.
Grand 4.
Grand 4. Okay.
Grand 4,
We look forward to it next week.
So that's another collaborative effort with
all the partners. Are
okay, that's interesting. What again, before we delve into the discussion, what again in terms of the activities? Of course, you are here today, so the educational campaign is on, and that is very good to sensitize the people. What again, apart from what Alian just mentioned?
Actually, last night we had the virtual discussion with another media partner we have for FIM. So a lot of our partners were there. They gave individual presentations about their companies, what they have to offer in terms of the saving to investing, so investment instruments, savings, and even opening accounts, what new they have on board, especially I think Republic Bank give some good information on what it is they're going to bring to the table, National Bank and all the other institutions. So it was an education session because a lot of members, clients, customers don't know the full scope of what it is their financial institutions are bringing to the table. And so we were really just expanding and giving that information.
Let us look at what you have in store, Brenton Elia, from your company standpoint. What is happening? What exactly is your focus, especially as we observe demand, financial information month?
Okay, so our focus is beating our competitor. Now, when I say competitor in this case, I'm not talking about the other financial institutions, but we face a battle against time, whether someone passes away too early, or time whether someone lives for too long and outlive their resources for retirement. We face a battle against health challenges. So we are really centered around securing people's financial position. Now, when we speak about investing, one of the key areas that one must consider even before going into the topic of investing is protecting that investment. And it's something that we often overlook. You could have spent your lifetime building up a nice savings, lifetime investing in different properties, lifetime investing in different stocks and so forth. But the fact is that if life knocks on your door and you're challenged medically, then all those investments without the right protection will disappear in an instant. And this is not just a theoretical statement. I've actually seen that in truth and in fact, where people invested a lot, they had medical bills to pay coming up to over 500,000, wiped away the investment in less than a month. So even before we go into investing, you have to look at what sort of measures you have in place so that if something should happen, you transfer the risk from your investment to a partner or to a player in the market that is going to handle that risk for you. And it's a form of risk management strategies that we have to consider. Now, once that is set up, one has to become aware of what options are out there. And we heard it earlier about sometimes we don't know what the different players in the market offer. For us, there is a particular plan that we have seen a lot of young people using. It's called an endowment plan. What it does is basically it ensures that you receive a guaranteed amount at a certain time or after a certain number of years. So the individual actually decides when they would like to receive that figure. It could be after 10, 15 years, 20, 25 years, or at the age of 60, 65, or even 70. Once that is set up, the person contributes to that plan until that time has expired. Now, because we are an insurance company, we are able to offer other elements in it rather than just putting money into savings. I'm not saying don't have a savings, you need to have your buffer, but you have to also look at your options past that emergency fund that I spoke about. So for us, even if someone did not live to see that time and they pass away, God forbid, the amount is still going to be paid out to someone of their choosing, which we call a beneficiary. So if someone said, okay, give me 100,000 after 25 years, but they passed away after 2 years, we will pay that 100,000 to someone of their choosing, even if they only paid us for 2 years. So it gives that individual the best of both worlds. If they make it, we pay them. If they don't make it, we pay someone for them. That is the full amount. And it also has a facility where if an individual is unable to work for 6 months due to an injury or illness, we will actually waive the payments required for that coverage. So a scenario where someone took that plan, they got disabled for life, for 25 years, we would have waived the premium, and then at the end of it, they would have still received the full 100,000. So we are able to sort of put together helping persons plan for the future, while at the same time having some form of protection to ensure that in case something happens, that investment is not lost altogether, that there is some kind of measure to continue to assist them. We also have the annuity option, which is ensuring that you receive an income for as long as you are alive. It is similar in terms of the structure of how Social Security would pay you, where you would get a monthly check. So that is something that someone should also consider. I mean, generally, we've seen a lot of young people that prefer the option of endowments because they want to know that they get the money in their hand and they choose how to manage it. But it's actually advisable to sort of diversify your portfolio. So yes, you will have a structure to give you a lump sum payment, but at the same time, it's also good to know that you will receive a monthly income for as long as you're alive. So definitely, if companies offer that facility, group pension plans, definitely encourage people to become a part of that. And oftentimes, when that setup is made, the company contributes towards the plan for the employee, and that is, in my opinion, free money. You don't pass up on opportunities to obtain free money. It's true you will not get any quick gratification because you're speaking about retirement, but that is a significant part of investing. We invest for whether it's short-term, medium-term, or long-term goals, but what I've seen is, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of times we put off investing for the long-term goals because we feel like we are young, we have time, but it only makes it a bit more costly to do so later down the road.
Do you see a lot of young people buying into this insurance?
Yes. So in terms of when I have actually looked at the numbers, the millennials are actually the leaders in terms of taking up coverage with us right now. So I think they are more aware of the need to start looking at their finances. They call it adulting. So they are being a bit more proactive in that regard, and it's great to see that, because I believe in our generation we have to sort of lay the foundation to change things for the next generation to come.
And you know, as the financial partner, as a bank, if we offer our loan services, for example, a mortgage, that's where we get to partner with the life insurance companies, because this is one of the requirements to obtain that. So we do see on our end the young people who are eager and interested in building that they would reach out to get a life insurance policy. And one of the things that Brenton mentioned is safeguarding yourself and your family, which I think is very important. Generational wealth is something that we need to invest a bit more to help grow and support and secure your family, even if you're not here.
Let me ask you, Monique. So just listening to Brenton and Ali and Abel, Sagicor, NBD Insurance, NBD. I'm thinking the NCCU, it's for me, it's kind of different in reference to the way it was set up, long ago, when people were putting their little resources together, little money together and coming to save and all of that, setting up something like a subsystem, which eventually, just grew big. How does the NCCU secure financial position? Tell us what the offerings are. Tell us what is different now, in reference to what was happening before. How much strides you have made in that regard.
Well, keeping along the lines of what Brenton and Alian just said, actually at NCCU, our loans are insured up to $150,000 once your loans are current, and that's free to our members. So yes, you may even have a life insurance policy that will supplement that. So that would be a great option. And as Brenton said, that's free money that we're giving you essentially. So you can always have those options. You come to for a loan with NCCU, probably you've taken a $300,000 mortgage or any other sort of loan, and maybe you pass away, or you could actually become disabled and you're not able to pay that loan anymore. We actually would be able to help you, and that $150,000 through the insurance will be paid off. And so then if you have another $150,000 left, that would be left for you to pay. So if you actually do have that insurance, life insurance outside, or maybe the critical illness, I believe you all have, Brenton? Yes. So then that would actually help you to clear that $150,000, and so that would be off your mind.
So there's a synergy again, right? NCCU, the bank, the institution, insurance, all of that. There's a link, there's a connection there.
If I can just add to what she's saying, and I'm going to take a step further. She said, if you have that additional coverage, but I would actually recommend it. And in the case of National Bank, it's actually required for it to be fully covered for the mortgage in terms of life insurance. It's not about
fully covered.
Partial coverage, because I must commend them on the fact that they have recognized the risk. The risk is if someone passes away while there's a mortgage, it leaves a balance for someone else to pay. Now you may see it from a perspective of, okay, if they had 300,000 and only 150 they did not get that additional coverage, then the dependent should be able to cover the balance of the mortgage, 150. But the reality is that is not always the case. What if the surviving member of the family is not employed? How are they going to continue making those monthly payments? Even going a step further, we have seen cases where the property is left behind, and yes, the mortgage might have been cleared, but then the financial capacity of the people does not put them in a position to manage the property, because property in itself can be a liability. We've grown up to hear that building a house is an asset. It can be an asset if it is income generating, but if you're just holding a property, it comes with the aspect of maintenance, your roof, painting, tiles, and so forth. And if you don't have the money to take care of that, the survivors have to sell it. And that has actually happened in our market from what I've seen, where children sometimes inherit properties and they don't have the capacity to manage it. And that's an option that they have to consider. Now, we as parents, I often hear from parents that I have built this house for my children, I'm going to leave the house for the children. But going a step further, it's actually advisable to not just get coverage to match the mortgage, but you get it in excess of the mortgage, so that the extra income is what is going to come in to assist your surviving members of your family to continue to manage that property in your absence. And that goes back to the whole concept of, yes, you have your investments, but you also have to consider what are the risks attached to that investment, and what measures do I need to put in place to ensure that that investment remains within the family or remains within your portfolio.
Yeah, so you as the one in that generation who is making the money and making those decisions at the time, you really need to think about what it is you're doing, because you have to be planning for the future generations, and you don't want to burden them.
Right.
You want to leave them something that's going to benefit them and they can actually keep for your future generations. So people like us in the millennial space, there's something called being house poor, which is something that's happening for a lot of us, where we have invested in property, yes, but we have bought the house, but it's very difficult for us to even maintain. So we don't want to be adding that extra burden onto the next generation. So that financial planning is very important.
Very, very interesting. I must say, we're discussing Financial Information Month. It's really a vibrant, regional campaign that fosters resilience. It also fosters inclusion, and informed financial decision making. Very interesting discussion, I must say. Just listen to the jingle as we continue and learn more, of course. We have to go into several areas to give you more clarification, if there was any confusion in terms of savers and investors and all of that. We'll give you more clarification, so stay tuned to the discussion.
It's Financial Information Month in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Financial empowerment through education. If you don't know what that is, let me tell you all about it. Learn to spend wisely. Invest to grow your money. Business stability. Step up financially. Help the region's economy. Work to financial security. Prosperity for all of we. FIM is for you and me. FIM is for everybody. So tell your friends and your whole family. Financial empowerment through education. Build yourself and the entire region. Learn to spend wisely. Invest to grow your money. Business stability. Step up financially. Financial Information Month. Financial empowerment through education.
It's for you and me. It's for everybody. We are discussing Financial Information Month, and we have partners, of course, of this important initiative, a regional initiative, and we are learning more, especially now. These are the days when we have to learn about these things, very, very important. And the more you know, the better, of course, you grow. So let us continue with our discussion and help us to understand, and anyone could take this, how or what it takes to sort of confidently transition from a saver to an investor, and build long-term wealth. We were sort of discussing this, but I want to just ask you directly. Let us go through this a little. How what it takes to confidently transition from one stage to another in reference to a saver to an investor.
Now, one thing I do want to say is that you want to educate yourself, look at all the options, and then take some sort of calculated risk. A lot of people don't actually write down numbers, track numbers, see what it is their finances actually look like and what it is they're willing to take on. They just go because they say, that sounded like a good idea. So definitely track your numbers. If you don't have a budget, you should actually start one. There are many tools out there, whether you're doing it on an electronic device, you're using your paper and pen, but definitely write down your numbers, look at your assets, your expenses, and see what it is you're actually willing to take on. So you don't have to do something that's very heavy hitting if you know that you cannot really afford it or take that hit. But starting small is good, and then you can always build up from there.
So I like what Monique added. What I think is very important is that you do your research. Do a lot of research. There's information out there, not just locally, but even online, to find out what tools that could help guide you. And, you know, as we mentioned last night, Dominica is very small. Everybody knows everybody. You know somebody who works in a financial institution. You can reach out to them, have a conversation, and that's where you should start. And from there, you build and you grow.
All right, so for me, yes, the first place to start is education. You cannot be confident in anything you do if you do not have an idea of what you're doing. So it goes back to what I mentioned earlier when it comes to financial literacy. In the absence of that being provided by our education system, you have the responsibility to go out there and find content and read books and learn. Once you have the education, you need to then go into what Monique said, which is understanding where your money goes. And the only way you're going to know that is by recording. I remember when I was a young boy, I'm still young, so let me say younger. When I was a younger boy, every expense that I incurred, I would have written it down on a piece of paper. I remember that as low as 25 cents, back then when bread was 25 cents, I'd write it down, and some of my friends used to laugh at me saying, but 25 cents, why are you writing it down? But what you would find is that the 25 cents over 5 days, over several months, adds up. And when you see those numbers in your mind, it helps you then to make a plan as to what sort of changes I should make. So in terms of managing your money, when you understand where your money goes, it helps you to navigate it better in the sense of adapting your spending so that you get extra income someplace where you can then use it to save or invest. Make sure that you are aware of the options that are out there. So I've moved from writing down on paper to using an app. There's an app called Zoho Books. It's free once you're using it regularly. So every time I spend right now, whether it's cash or my credit card, I put the transaction in Zoho Books and actually monitor how my money is moving during the months. And then over time, it helps you to now make changes. The world has also changed in the sense of there isn't, in my opinion, any excuse for not finding the means to invest or save right now. At present, you can actually stay in your home in wherever you live and open a trading account with IBKR Interactive Brokers. I currently have an account there, and you buy stocks from any company in the world using that. Back in the old days, that was not an option. So you have to become aware of the tools available out there and start making use of them. But at the same time, when you venture into those tools, you have to consider your age, because the older you are, the less risky your investments should be. I mean, if you're 20, 25-year-old, you can afford to lose some money. So you might even delve into crypto. But if you're reaching the 40s, 50s, you cannot afford to take those risks. So you have to now look for the more stable form of investment. So it's a continuous process. It's not something that you will be confident about overnight, but as you get into the practice and the habits of what we have said earlier, over time you'll feel a bit more confident. And a key thing too is we sometimes feel that we need to have 100,000 or 200,000 or $1 million to invest. That's not true. You start with what you have. The key thing is consistency, in my opinion. Right now, I buy one share with NCCU every month, and it's automated, comes straight from my salary and salary deduction going to them. $50. But right now, when I've looked at it and I've seen the dividends that I've gotten, thank you very much, NCCU.
You're welcome.
I feel good. But it all started with me several years ago just buying one share a month, $50 a month. So you don't have to start big. Just get into the habit stick to the habit and you will reap the benefits over time.
That's wonderful. Let me squeeze in right now the opportunity to buy stock. Brendan earlier mentioned free money. Right now, NBD has a promotion going on, 25 years, 25 big wins. We're collaborating with Discover Dominica for the World Creole Music Festival, hence the 25 promotion. So essentially, it's about getting a credit card. That is free money. That's the bank's money. So why not come to the bank, get a credit card, and buy and invest in your stock, or buy your shares at the credit union or the bank?
Interesting. Anybody, people taking advantage of this? Do you see people
course.
gravitating towards this?
Yes, and
In terms of the demographics, younger people, older people.
yes.
Let's hear
So
about
we
this as well.
actually have different packages for credit cards. So we have a beginner's credit card. So you just started to work and you're not sure as to if you can afford or you can actually apply for a credit card. We have a solution just for you. It's a maximum of $500. That's 1,350 EC dollars. Following that, we have a card for professionals, so our lawyers, our doctors. It's a bigger limit. It's a larger limit, and we work with you with what you can afford, and the cards can be unsecured. That's an advantage to it. And then we have our gold cards, which accumulates cash back every time you swipe your card.
Morning, Jeffrey. Let me come to you. The NCCU. Of course, I said earlier how the NCCU was built long ago, before you were born, long ago before I was born as well. But it continues, to do so much for families. I mean, if you listen to the testimonials of people, they will tell you, how much the NCCU has helped
They
them.
love their credit union.
Oh yes, and a lot has changed, of course, in time. A lot has changed over the years. But in reference to educating people, sometimes someone come in, they're not sure about something. What is in place for people who are unsure? Especially people who do business at the NCCU.
Brenton spoke a little bit about he buying shares every month, which is wonderful. And some members have a little issue with being consistent. And one product that we do have is our CU Online platform, which then allows you to actually automate your transfers. So you don't have to come in to even set up a salary reduction or anything of that nature. You can actually put that transaction automated online with our transfer service on CU Online. So you can have it revolving for every month. You can stop it when you please. And so if you find it difficult to remember every month to come in to buy that share, you can actually use that to be consistent. That is something you can even do with your member retirement account as well. So MRA stands for member retirement account, and that is a high savings account for retirement where you can actually put in $1,000 each month, and the interest is compounding. It's 4% per annum. So that is something we encourage our young members to actually start using as soon as they start working, because as we said, compounding interest is going to be your best friend when it comes to saving for when you get older. And it's quite expensive. I'm sure a lot of our retirees will tell you, that's probably the reason why they've reached retirement age and some are not actually retired, because it's taken a lot, and they've accumulated assets. They're still taking care of their houses. House maintenance is expensive. And so MRA is going to help you to alleviate those things for yourself as a young person in the future. We've heard a lot of talk about the Dominica Social Security not going to be adequate. So you really need that supplemental income, and so you have to do whatever it is you can now to help yourself in the future. And say it starts small. You don't have to put $1,000 now. You can start small with your $20, $5. Think about increasing every year. So look at that budget again of yours. You always need to audit yourself and see what else you can put together for yourself for the future.
Very, very interesting.
Good advice.
Yes, Brenton, you want to come in here?
Yes, just throwing sort of swing to the concept of moving from saving to investing. And it is a concept that is not widely known, but as time goes by, we are doing our best to educate people in our one-on-one interactions. Now, there's the story of Disney World. A lot of people don't know how Disney World started. Walt Disney in the early days had Disneyland in California, and then he had a vision of Disney World. He went to the bank with that vision, and the bank shut him down. Bank said, no, we don't see the same vision that you have. We don't support this. So that is something that is going to happen in life, that sometimes your financial institution will not see eye to eye, and they won't see that foresight in your mind. So what he did was he went in his life insurance policy. He took what we call a policy loan, and he used that to lay the foundation down for Disney World. So Disney World is here today because of life insurance, and that is a concept of what we call whole life policies, where yes, the foundation of the policy is really about protecting those that depend on you in case of, but at the same time, if nothing happens to you, cash value develops in the future, you do have the ability to access those funds in the form of a loan. Yes, you pay it back with an interest rate. The interest rate is reasonable, but it gives you that additional avenue for decisions in the future. There's also the example of JCPenney back in the days of the Great Depression, when things were terrible. The owners went into their policies, took loans on their policies, and used that to keep the business afloat. So life insurance through cash value on policies have been around. We've actually seen business owners in Dominica who have used it during COVID and so forth to assist them. So a lot of persons we speak to position it as if you are becoming your own bank. So you don't have to go to the bank and request credit. You just come to us, you fill out one form, and you get access to those funds, and you determine your repayment rates. You tell us how frequently you want to pay back. You tell us what installment you want to put. It's going to be up to you. It's just that at the end of it, God forbid, if you pass away and there's still an amount on it, we will just deduct that amount before you pay to your beneficiary. So that's another avenue out there when you think about move from just a saver but an investor and thinking about long term.
Interesting. From a saver to investor. Investor is long term, as you said.
Correct.
And yes, I'm happy that we went through this. Saver, investor. Who is a saver? Who is investor? What are the benefits and things like that? You want to say something, Alien?
I agree with you, Ivona.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So let us continue. Let us move on. So let us go back to how we started Financial Information Month. And we said at the start that this is set aside as a month that is set aside every year in the month of October since 2002 to really educate the populace, to let them know about the various services that are available as well, at the credit union, be it insurance, be it the bank, wherever the various. How much from this activity, because you have been at your workplaces for more than 2 years, more than maybe 5 years, I'm not sure for Monique, but how much has this effort, this month of activity set aside every year, helped in your whole business endeavors at of course your establishment where you work, your institution?
Oh, it has helped. We plan accordingly because we know that this is going to be
and I'm talking specifically about Financial Information Month, and
yes.
How it has helped you all.
Okay, so how it has helped us, definitely as a team and in marketing in particular, we have to partner with our own other departments. So sometimes we'll have persons from credits getting involved so that we can educate the public, and it's a whole planning process. Yes, we collaborate with the other partners, but we ourselves, we want to make sure that the people get the information out there for NBD and what we can do for them. So it's for us, it's all about planning and putting everything down and making sure the information is out there.
Okay. What about you, Monique, at the NCCU? How is it done? Is it like it's coming every year? So yes, it's coming every year. You may have to go on a radio program, go somewhere else and deliver a presentation or something like that. But how much emphasis does the NCCU place on a month of activities like this?
Really, it's because it's an educational program that this is important to us. We have our own educational programs, yes, but sometimes it's good to do something with other partners throughout Dominica. Dominica is huge, and I mean we are big but small at the same time. But we are your community financial partner, and so we have to look at our partners as well and see what it is that Dominica actually has to offer, because not everyone needs to have all their eggs in one basket. Actually, it's not something that's actually recommended. And so this is a partnership where it is you really get to display what it is Dominica has to offer in terms of the financing and how people can improve their finances, because they think Dominica is so small and Dominica doesn't really have something to offer or much to offer. But there is a lot, and so going out with everyone and to different activities, different demographics, you really get to just show the scope of what is possible on our nature.
Brenton, from an insurance standpoint, what works well for you, especially during that time?
Well, I like what Monique said, which is, as a company, we are already in the habit of doing what we can to educate the public of what we do. But with Financial Information Month, it's an additional avenue to provide that education to the public. And there's a bit more coordination in the sense of where traditionally one might say, boy, you would never see NCCU and NBD in the same room together. But it's able to bring us together to speak of the overarching theme of bringing financial awareness to the public, where we can put the competition aside and just focus on provide information. So FIM has been able to give us that avenue to work together as one unit with the objective of making sure that those persons who follow come out of our sessions or come out of the programs more educated and wiser and are able to make better decisions. So it has helped us to sort of preach the word. Definitely, as I mentioned, maybe one day we will see this happening on a more regular basis, but we're grateful for the fact that we actually have at least 1 month where we can come together and do so. So it helps us to bring our message out there along with the others.
You want to add Alian to this? I know today's already today's the 9th already. So just we still have some more time, about 21 more days left in this month, 22 more days left in this month. How has the NBD benefited thus far from this initiative?
We've been getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback from persons who are like, oh wow, we didn't know that you could come to NBD and get an unsecured credit card, or that I may be possible to get a mortgage from the bank. So we just want to take the opportunity again to encourage people to come and visit us, visit our website, nbdominica.com. We have a lot of information out there. Even our online platform through Mo Banking, it's very popular, but sometimes you can use that tool to help you to grow, expand. You're seeing how your savings it's doing. And again, we talk about not putting our eggs in one basket, but for me also that means not, even if you have your accounts at NBD, doesn't mean that you have to have just one account. You can have multiple accounts. You have to have your rainy day account, and you have to see how that grows. And from there, you can decide, okay, well, maybe I can invest in a life insurance policy, or maybe I can buy a share at the credit union, And I just want to add that with our online platform, Mo Banking, we do have some exciting features coming out really, really soon. So we want to encourage everyone to continue to follow us so that they can find out more about it.
Monique Jeffrey, okay, go ahead.
Continue. Thing, I just want to remind, because we know that not only it is FIM, but it's also independent season, and we know that we are going to get a lot of diaspora or foreigners coming in for the season. So at NBD, what we're going to do is have a diaspora Kai. That is, we're going to have a location just
Kai, like a house?
That's right. Just for our diaspora, where it's going to be non-cash related. But if you have any questions, if you have any interest, whether it's in loans, whether it's in updating your accounts, you can come and visit us. So we'll provide some more information in the coming days about our NBD Kai.
Interesting. So, Monique Jeffrey, I wanted to ask you as well, in terms of online banking, I know you do a lot of this, but apart from that, how much information do you put online? So if I were to go on the NCCU's, maybe Facebook page or wherever you promote, what can I see apart from the services that you provide?
Well, our social media does have a lot, but as well our website, nccdominica.com, is huge. You can get so much information there. And so if you see your coupling going on our website with what it is we've discussed here today, we've basically given you a whole loans negotiation piece right here, because we've told you what it is you can do in terms of securing your money. On the website you can see how much interest you have to pay. We actually have a loan calculator on there, so if you want to see terms, interest rate, how much it is you're going to be looking at paying for each month, you can actually use that. Information on what it is your requirements are, how the process might go, you will find all that information on our website. We even have some properties on there, so if you're looking to buy some property, you can look at that. So between this and the social media and Facebook, the website, you're set to go. I mean, there's still always more to learn, and of course you actually have to come in and sign those documents and have a discussion. But definitely you've been well informed and you're well on your way to having that investment.
Certainly exchanging times. Brenton Hillier, I know you're always online, providing information. And that's very good. Sometimes you just give a little tip or something, and that works well. Apart from that, how much can I find out about, the insurance if I go online?
So we have an extensive website as well, where you can find information about the company, information about the leadership team, information about the various products. You can even find our financials online. If you're curious about how we are performing, you're free to go download it and analyze it yourself. So we do a lot from that aspect to be transparent with the public. Even outside of that, with our sales team, you will find that different members of the team go online and post different tidbits or educationals, posts, pictures, videos to sort of help the public, because we are really on a mission to make people aware of how insurance works, what they should ask, what they should look for, how we could provide value to them. And since I've been doing my videos and my posts, I've actually met a lot of people on the road who said, boy, continue doing that, and I didn't know that, and thank you so much. So it makes me feel good that people see value in it and that people are actually curious about it. And we also have a mobile platform as well, where you could either set it up online through a web browser, or you could download a mobile app, whether it's Android or iPhone, and you can access your policy details on there. You can make payments on there. One of the greatest features is that it allows you to also make automatic payments, whether it's through your debit card or your credit card. And when we speak about credit card, definitely I encourage persons to get credit cards that give you something back. So whether it's cash back, as we heard from NBD, or you get miles back, make use of it, because at the end of the day, it's free money for you. But going back to the whole online aspect, so we do have a presence on most pages: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or it's called X right now, and Instagram. So it's easy to find us out there if you actually go and look for us, and we will often also, from a company perspective, post different things such as topics covering critical illness, which we use to replace our income, life insurance, being healthy overall. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to insurance, a key aspect of being able to qualify for it is your health. Insurance is not something that is guaranteed. It is based on the details of the application. That's why we often say to apply while you are young and healthy. Right. So it goes straight through.
But one thing I'd like to mention is the importance of safety and securing your wealth and your assets. So over the past few months, maybe some persons may have received a text, for example, asking you to click a link, and it's from NBD. I just want to take the opportunity to say that the National Bank of Dominica Limited, and no financial institution in fact, will reach out to you to ask you to give us your password or to give us your card details. These are fraudsters, and they're just trying to get your information. So if you ever receive that information or request, please feel free to reach out to us. You can call us at 767-255-2300 or visit our social media pages. Once they're on high alert, we reach out to the public to let them know that this is a scam. So I just wanted to put that out there as well.
Interesting that you mentioned that there are a lot of scams out there. Of course, we're discussing finance, but it's a very interesting subject as well, to explore.
Yes.
So as we end, just quickly, let's just say something on this, Brent.
Yeah, while you're on that, I think it's very important to also touch on a key concept that I personally live by, when it comes to investing. If it's too good to be true, then most likely it's too good to be true. Because over the years, there have been a few that have entered our markets in Dominica promising returns that are phenomenal. And you would find that the early entrants benefit from it. And that gives the appeal of it might work for me if I try. But then later down, those things always, not sometimes, always disappear. So as much as we want to get monies turning over for us, from an investing standpoint, you have to be knowledgeable and be aware of those risks and those quote-unquote scams that exist in the market.
Any thoughts on that?
Yes, definitely. Actually, in terms of the security Alian was talking about, at NCCU, we have actually instituted a debit card account. So before, you could attach your debit card to any of your sub-accounts as you pleased. When you came in, you could ask any member service rep to assign it to whichever, so you could actually put it to your checking account as well. But we have actually designated now that it be one specific account, and it remain that way. If you had a card before, eventually you will be transitioned onto that account. If you have ever received a call or an email from us regarding something like that, that is actually most likely legitimate. I hope we haven't had any scammers taking that away. But that is something that we have used as a mitigating factor, and we always encourage our members, of course, to use CU Online and watch their accounts, manage their accounts, to make sure that if they see any suspicious activity, they can always contact us at our member care center. That is 255-2126, or membercare@nccudominica.com. We are also on Facebook. You can always hit us up with a direct message, and we'll pass that information along to the relevant officers.
Okay, look at the time already. Let's get closing remarks quickly, and let's hear from you, Alian, as we
I just want to take the opportunity to reach out to our listeners, especially to our customers at NBD, and thank them for listening. And then also to share that NBD has been nominated for 6 awards in the ECCU Bank of the Year Awards. So if you follow us on Facebook, there is an option to vote right now. We have 6 categories, which is corporate social responsibility, customer service, financial empowerment, support to the SMEs, as well as technological information, and distinguished Bank of the Year. So we encourage everyone to vote for NBD as the only financial institution partnering in this award ceremony.
All right, you had to push this, and I
I
like
did.
that. I like that. Good. Let's hear from you, Monique, as we close.
Well, actually, NCCU is turning 15 years on November 1st this year, so we're a big teenager. And so we have a number of activities going on. We have on social media. Our membership madness is back, Brenton. If you haven't taken advantage, up until December 30th. And we also have a Calypso competition on Facebook as well. And some other activities. Will be having a church service on November 1st. So you can keep contact with us, especially on social media, and you'll find out everything that NCCU has in store for you. We actually have some loan products as well coming on board as well.
Interesting. Brenton, as we end?
So I want to encourage everyone that's listening to come in and have a discussion with one of our team members. The only way that you're going to really find out what we are able to do for you is by just having a conversation. It is not going to be a situation where you are going to be forced to buy anything. We first focus on educating and sharing information, and then you'll be in a position to make an informed decision. You're never too young to start. And I mean that literally speaking. Once you have really established your goals and your objectives, sky's the limit for you once the budget is available. For example, I have 2 policies that I did for my daughter when she was about 3 years old. So I'm paying for it right now as a form of a long-term investment, so that when she gets to the point of having her own form of employment, I will transfer it to her and say, this is now yours. I started it for you. You will continue it, and then you reap the benefits in the long term. But it benefits her from the perspective of the premiums are at a reduced rate because of the age that she had when I started it. So all of these are different options that are available to the public. But I would definitely put a caveat out there. Before you consider getting coverage for your children, you first need to be covered yourself. When you are on the plane, they say that in the event of any emergency, you put the gas mask on yourself first and then you put it on your child. Similar when it comes to coverage, you protect yourself first, and then once you have the budget available, you can look at options for your children if that's something that you want to consider. But everything starts from a conversation, and it doesn't have to be a one-stop shop. What we've found is that over the years, as people profile changes, as income changes, they have to now amend their portfolio, build up on the portfolio. So it's actually a long-term process, but the key thing is starting somewhere, even if it's a small start.
Let me thank all three of you. I enjoyed the discussion. Financial literacy, and information on this is really getting, more, I would say, more friendly. There was a time when people they were averse to this, but right now, the discussion now, I really enjoyed it this morning. And all the best as you continue, the month of activities, Financial Information Month. It's independence as well, so you two are very busy. We have a lot of returning Dominicans as well, so I'm sure you have measures in place for them to come and update or, do whatever, although a lot is being done online. Right. But, sometimes people like that, face to face. So when they come to Dominica, they can always visit, the various institutions. But thank you. I really learned a lot myself on this, and all the best.
Thank you.
All right,
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
It's Financial Information Month in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Financial empowerment through education. If you don't know what that is, let me tell you.